if you're new here, welcome, and if you're returning, welcome back. So we're just going to jump right into the video. Today's video is another video that is part of my monthly makeup roulette series, and this is the final look and final thoughts for the month of March. I did a short of this look, so it will be posted before this video goes up, so go check it out. I'll try to remember to link it in the cards in the description box. This is what I ended up with. This is not bad. I did end up starting a look and wiping it off and then starting this look. This look is not perfect either, and I'll explain why in a little bit. But it is better than the original eye look I was working on that I wiped off. Okay, so let's get started. So I'm going to start like I always do. I start with primer, and the primer that was chosen was from e.l.f. Like I've told you guys before, I'm no longer purchasing from this brand, but I am keeping and using up products that I did already purchase. So I did keep the e.l.f. Liquid Poreless Putty Primer. This is a very nice primer. I have pretty much used half of this in the month, so it does go down pretty quickly. I do have a little mini as well, but I was quite surprised at how much I used of this during the month. I think I'm not sure how much product is in here. I do not have the box, and I'm not seeing the ounceage or grams on the packaging itself. But I like this. I think it does a really good job of blurring and kind of smoothing out. What I like to do when I use like poreless or pore filling or pore refining primers, I like to use them obviously to kind of help smooth and blur pores, but I also like to use them kind of to help fill in my fine lines and wrinkles to kind of help them look a little smoother. And this one is a really good one for that, as well as the Benefit one, the Professional. That one is a little more silicone-y feeling than this, though. This is more lightweight, so I do like this one better for that reason. But yeah, I'll continue to use this. I think it's a good product. Okay, so then I do my brows, and the brow product that was chosen for this month, so we have two. We have the brow gel and the brow pencil. And these were gifted to me from ColourPop in exchange for my honest opinions in a review. I had previously used ColourPop's Brow Boss pencil in the past, and I had took like a little survey type thing they had on their Instagram asking my opinions about the original Brow Boss pencil, and I had told them that I wasn't a fan of the original because it wasn't pigmented enough, it was too stiff, and it wasn't easy to work with, right? So because I did that, they reached out to me on Instagram and asked me if I was interested in trying a couple of the new Brow Boss pencils. So they did send me 3 shades, but the shade that was picked for this month was the I believe it's the ash brown shade. I'm not seeing it on the package. Hold on. Yes, the ash brown. So this one is a little light for me, but I did get, I think it's the dark brown and the soft black as well. So this one, I like it. I like the formula. It is so much better than the original. It is more pigmented. It is much easier to work with. Glides on easier. Love that it's still like a nano pencil and still has a small spoolie and everything. I did happen to find my original soft black pencil. You guys will see, I'll have a kind of shorter video going up of me trying out the products when I got them, at least one pencil and one in the brow gel. And I tried out the soft black in that one, but I state in the video that I had decluttered the ColourPop original soft black pencil. Luckily, it had not left my house yet, so I did find it. So you guys let me know if you want like a side-by-side comparison of the two, and I can do that. But anyway, back to this video. So these were gifted to me, which I do really appreciate, but I'm still going to give you my honest opinions. So yeah, I like the new pencil much better. It is much easier to use, much easier to glide on. Like I said though, this shade is a little too light for me. I will keep it though in my collection for now to use when I wear like my lighter brown wigs and things like that. And they also sent with the 3 pencils their new Brow Boss gel, which I had tried their Brow Boss gel in the past. I didn't try... No, I did. I did try the clear, and I also tried the soft black. I wasn't a fan of the original Brow Boss gel either. It just was a little kind of patchy, hard to work with. Now, this is the clear. It is a bigger container. At least it looks like a bigger container. I don't know about the ounceage. I would have to look it up. But this one is a 24-hour lifting brow gel. I do like it. It does still have like the skinny brow brush. I do wish it was a little bit bigger. Not much, but a little bit bigger. And I do feel like I've been using this all month. I do feel like there's really still not that much product in here. So I do like it. It does perform. It does hold. I just still feel like there's not that much product in here. But yeah, I like these. I will continue to use them. Okay, moving on. So sometimes I do my eyes first. Sometimes I do my face makeup first, depending on the fallout of the palette. This palette does tend to have fallout. So today I did do my eyes first. But the palette is the collab between Batty Bean and Shroud Cosmetics. Now, I do not like supporting Shroud Cosmetics because of what went down with what they did to their customers and things and not answering and all that. But I love supporting Batty Bean, so that's why I keep this in my collection, because I love her content and she is a very, very nice person, at least, you know, online when I've had interactions with her. I've not met her in person. But yeah, I like supporting her. I think she's very talented and she's very nice. So I like this palette. I do think it is nice. It is very pigmented. The shimmers are sparkly, some more than others. The only critique I'm going to have, well, there's going to be kind of two. But first, this is the shade I used on the outer part of my eye, and I tried and tried and tried to get this to not be patchy, but no matter what I did, it was still patchy. I tried wiping it off, reapplying, trying a different eye primer. It's not the worst eyeshadow I've ever used, but it is definitely hard to work with. So that matte right there is just not my favorite. Now the rest of the mattes in here performed great. Didn't have any problems with them. It was just this dark kind of blue shade. The shimmers, some are more sparkly than others. Today I have on this shade on the inner part of my lid, and then I have this shade on the outer part of my lid tapped over that blue. I will say I'm not a huge fan of the color of this one the way I paired it today. I'm going to need to try it on its own, maybe with like a purple matte or something, because there's not a purple matte in here, to see if maybe I like it more. The dark blue kind of makes it a little more gray looking. So that's my only critique there, but that could just be because of that matte as well. Love the oranges. They're so vibrant, so pretty. I love this kind of like mustardy yellow green shade. I guess you kind of call it a chartreuse shade actually. I think it is beautiful. Love it. Same with this kind of like burnt orange. Yeah, I mean, I think the formula is nice with the exception of that dark blue. That was the only one that really gave me any issues. So, yeah, I'm going to continue to keep it in my collection. I will say I kind of prefer the color story of her original palette with them more than this one. But that's just personal preference. Alright, so moving on. The eye base that I used beforehand is from Sigma. This is their eyeshadow primer base in Persuade. I do like this. It does a good job of kind of canceling out any like veins or redness or anything on the eyes. And I don't have any problems with shadows on top of it or anything like that. My only critique with this is it's so creamy that instead of like swiping it on, because when I try to swipe it on, it will break on me no matter how much or how little I have twisted up on it, right? So I have to dot it, which that's not a deal breaker for me, but as you can see, it gets extremely messy because of that. I honestly kind of prefer the LA Girl one over this one. One, it's cheaper, and two, it's a bit of a drier formula, so it doesn't break as easily as this one does on me. That being said, the LA Girl one did dry out on me before I could finish it. So there's a toss-up there. But I will keep it. I will continue to use it. It is a nice product. Okay. Let's start with... Oh, we're still on eyes. So let's start with the single shadow. The single shadow that was chosen was from ColourPop, and this is one of their Jelly Much shadows. This is the shade Scandal. This was from their, I believe it was the In the Limelight collection. I do like this. It is a very beautiful shade, but ColourPop Jelly Much shadows dry out very quickly. The first time I used it dried. Gotta be careful here. So the second time I used it, I kind of sprayed some setting spray in here until it got nice and kind of moist, and then I mixed it together to where it's kind of chunky. But then I applied it with my finger, kind of like pressing down in there. So the first look, it turned out really pretty. Where it was kind of dried out, it kind of was more of a bit of a toppery shade. That's the kind of green look I did, pairing it with the chartreuse shade in the Halloween palette. Very pretty. Now the other look I did was still kind of a green look. I did not film it. I might have taken a picture. If I did, I'll pop it up on the screen, but I don't think I did because I was in a hurry that day. It was more impactful because obviously I had wetted the formula. It did last all day and it did not crease on me, which surprised me because sometimes anything that is a little more emollient tends to crease on me because I have hooded eyes, right? I like the fact that it did last all day and it was very pretty. But I'm going to be honest, I really don't want to have to sit there and spray like 5 or 6 to 10 times to moisten this every time I want to use it. So for that reason, I think I'm going to end up letting this go in my next declutter of my single shadows. Because it just takes up too much time when I can just reach for either a liquid shadow or I can reach for a palette and I can just spray my brush or my finger and kind of get the same effect. So yeah, this, while it is a nice product, I wish it didn't dry out so easily. So that's my thoughts on that one. Eyeliners. So we have a liquid and we have a cream gel liner. Oh, that's the wrong one. Or is it? Yes, it is. So the cream gel liner, I have it on today. It is from NYX, and this is their retractable eyeliners in the shade Deep Purple. I do like it, but I noticed that with the retractable versus the gel eyeliners from NYX, these are a little harder to apply to the waterline, and they don't tend to stay consistent with the color. Like, this is supposed to be a deep purple, which I have it on my lash line as well. Now, it did turn out to be a darker purple on the lash line, but in the waterline, it's more of like a lighter pinky purple. I don't know why that is. I'm guessing maybe mixing with like the moisture in my waterline affects it, but I don't have that problem with like I said, the gel liners from NYX or the ColourPop liners. Honestly, the ColourPop liners is probably my #1 because they last, and I typically don't have issues with them, especially since they kind of reformulated over the years. That being said, I do really like the color across my lash line. So for now, it's definitely going to be staying, but I'm definitely considering putting any of these on my next chopping block because, yeah, I have so many eyeliners that I really don't need to have to worry about working, you know, harder to make them get them work. But there's that. There's my opinion on that one. The liquid liner is from ColourPop, and this is one of their liquid liners. They used to be called the BFF liquid liners, but I don't see that on this packaging. But this is the shade Grande, which is a brown. I did use this across my lash line and like a little tiny baby wing. Not today, but in another look. I'm finding that these liners like to drag because I tried the black one, which I think was Graceland. That might be the white one. I tried the white one and the black one and the yellow one, and all of them, like, I'll try to stamp and they'll work that way, but if I try to like drag them across to get precise line, they skip. So for that reason, I don't think I'm going to continue keeping the ColourPop liquid liners when I do my next declutter. We'll see. I may change my mind. But as of right now, I'm not a fan of these. So that's my thought on those. Okay, so another eye product. We have the mascara that was chosen. This I got in an Ipsy box. This is the brand Persona, and this is new to my collection. This is black mascara. I believe this is a tubing mascara, if I'm correct. It's nice. It does a good job of adding length to my lashes. Now, is it better than my favorites? No. It does tend to, let me look. Yeah, right now it's staying up, but kind of like midday it starts to fall a little bit on me, which is typical for my lashes because they're very stubborn. And I've told you guys before, I have very tiny, sparse lashes, so anything that can give me, you guys can kind of see from the side here, anything that gives me some lift, I really like, which this one does. My other problem with it is it does transfer. It is getting a little bit better the more I use it, but the first couple times I used it, the formula was a little on the wet side, so it would transfer on my upper lid. So yeah, I'm excited to use it some more. I don't hate it. I do think it's a nice formula, so yeah, I'm going to continue to keep it in my collection. Alright, moving on, I think we can get into my face products now. So, you know, we did the primer. The foundation that was chosen, this is from L'Oreal. This is their True Match foundation, and I'm the shade W3, which is a warm light medium. Now this went viral because of Shelby Ann over on TikTok. This is a very nice formula. I love it. I think it sits very nice on the skin. It does not feel heavy. It does not settle into any lines or wrinkles, and it gives a nice kind of like, I don't want to say glowy, but more of like a soft satin finish to the skin. And it just kind of gives coverage, but still looking skin-like. I love it. I will continue to use it. So, I mean, it's viral for a reason. Love it. And it lasts all day. It holds up. Don't have any problems. Okay. Concealer. So the concealer that was chosen is from Tarte, and this is their Shape Tape. This is the Ultra Creamy in 22N. I love this concealer. It's one of my favorite concealers. I have yet to find one that I like more than the Tarte Shape Tape. And I love the Ultra Creamy version more than the original. The original can look a little dry and a little heavy sometimes if you're not careful. This one performs better and is a little more hydrating under the eyes. Now, I do think they have a hydrating version now that I have not tried, but I do want to try it. But yeah, this, I mean, I keep saying that this feels almost empty because I have the original too that's used a lot more than this one, but there's still more product that just keeps coming out, and until it starts feeling so dry that I can't get any more out, even if I remove the stopper, I will continue to use this until that happens, or that it's, you know, goes bad, smells bad. But yeah, this is my favorite concealer still. Okay, so then I usually do my cream bronzer, which the one that was chosen this time is from Essence, and this is their Baby Got Bronze. I have the shade Cinnamon Spice. Now this smells like watermelon, which I really like. Kind of smells like a juicy watermelon. Not quite a Jolly Rancher, but close. It's real nice. I love the smell of it, and you know, even though I have sensitive skin, I haven't had any issues because it is scented. You don't get a whole lot, but I will tell you this has lasted me a while. I mean, I've been using it all month and I still have that much to use, and I do have another one as well. And these are pretty affordable. I believe Essence is usually a pretty affordable brand. Now, I will say it's not a super emollient product. It is a little on the stiff side, so I do have to blend, not super quickly, but I can't let it sit for a long time either, because then I can't blend it. It will just be stuck. This shade is very neutral for me, so I do use it when I want to have like a more everyday neutral look versus a super bronzed up look. But I do love it. Think it's very nice. Definitely going to be staying. Okay, so then I go in with my blush, cream or liquid blush, and this time it was a cream, and I will say I hate the packaging. It is so reflective, and you can see its fingerprints all over it. This is from Cosmic Brushes or Cosmic Beauty. This was in their Sinister collection, I believe it was. This is the shade Heroine, which is a straight up grape purple. So this looks very intimidating, and I will say, if you are not careful and you go in heavy-handed, which you will see in the video I did do today by accident, and I did have to kind of fix it towards the end, you can apply too much of this shade and it can kind of look clownish. That being said, I do think it is beautiful. I do love it when I get it kind of sheared out. and with a light, or apply with a light hand. And it's a nice cream formula. It's not super hard to blend or anything like that. And I do like it, and I am going to continue to keep it. Then I go in with my cream highlighter, and this time is another ColourPop light stick. And this is the shade Urth or Urth. I'm not sure how it's pronounced. It's U-R-T-H. So this is kind of a light, shimmery pink, but it's very, very subtle, which I love for every day. So I have a couple that are kind of like this. This one has a little more of a pink tone than my Play Beauty, my e.l.f. Jelly Pop, and my, what's the new one I got? Moonslice Beauty Girly Pop one. So those are like my everyday perfect cream highlighters. And this fits right in with that group because it's not overwhelming no matter how much I apply. It just gives a very nice, like very light pinky sheen to my skin, which I like. So love these formulas. I think you can still get some ColourPop. I saw some of their ColourPop blush sticks the other day in Target, and I think there were some highlighter ones too. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I know you can still get some of the blush sticks. And now obviously they have like their liquid blush and their lip and cheeks and all kinds of different ones, but I prefer this formula here. I think it's nice. Okay, moving on. So then what I do is I go in with my powders. So the powder bronzer that was chosen is from L'Oreal, and this is the Infallible 24-Hour FreshWear Bronzer. And I have the shade 250 Light. I like this. This is a everyday shade for me because it is the shade Light. So it did pair really nice with this for a neutral everyday bronzer. Now, I will say, when it comes to my powder bronzers, I do tend to prefer something a little darker. So I could probably go one shade up with this, which I may do eventually. We'll see. But there is a lot of kick up in the pan when you do dip your brush into this. So there's a lot of powder that comes up. So I have to kind of tap my brush off a little bit and then kind of, you know, clean out the powder from the pan. So that's the only thing I will say. If you don't like a lot of kick up in your products, you're not going to like this because it does have a lot of powder kick up. But it does perform nice, very blendable, very easy to use. So then I go in with my powder blush. So the powder went, sorry about that, my camera shut off on me. But what I was saying is that then I go in with my single powder blush, and the one that was chosen this time is from ColourPop, and this is new. This is from their most recent Valentine's collection, and this is Not Your Baby. So this is a Super Shock blush, but this is a shimmery blush. This formula is really nice. I was worried that it was going to be glittery because I do not like glittery blushes. I like a glowy blush, or like a like the Singe Beauty formula is really nice. They're not shimmery. They're like this satiny type formula. So when I saw that this had, like, you know, shimmer particles through it, I was worried that it was going to look like glitter on the face, but it does not. At least not this one. I haven't tried the other two yet, but I really like this formula. I mean, it's the Super Shock formula. I've loved ColourPop Super Shock formula for years. And so far I haven't had any issues with these formulas drying out on me in their palettes and stuff. So I do think they've improved it over the years. And they have improved the packaging because it's much easier to open now, because the original ones were so hard to open. But I think they're super cute. I love the heart compacts. And I like the formula, so here's my thoughts on that one. Okay, so then the highlighter, the single highlighter that was chosen, and then I'll tell you the face palette, but the single highlighter was chosen was also from ColourPop, and also from one of their, but I believe these were released at Valentine's Day originally, but this is their Makin Memories shade, and this is a pressed powder highlighter. So this is like a very icy shade, but I love it. It's not overwhelming or anything, but you could make it that way if you layered it enough, but on initial application it is nice, it's soft, nothing overwhelming, but it definitely could be that if you layer it. Very nice. Love the formula. Okay, so the face palette that was chosen this time was from Blend Bunny, and this is the Juicy Cheeks face palette. So these were released, I believe, in the summer. I don't know if it was last year or the year before. I do not believe these are available anymore. I believe they were discontinued. Because I got the Bare Cheeks and I got this one. This is the more like colorful of the two. So we have like these brighter, poppier colors in here. So we have, you know, purples and pinks, and then we have our oranges and our yellows over here. So I have used the majority of this palette. So today I used a combination of this one, and this one, topped over that Cosmic Brushes Heroine blush. Very nice, very pigmented. So you do need to tap off your brush if you don't want like straight up blush on your face. But they are easy to blend. I've also used, in another video, I used Squeeze and Tangy together. I paired these two together in my orange look, I believe it was. Now I have not used mouthwatering, pulp, or raw. I will say mouthwatering looks very intimidating, as well as pulp. So I do think those two are very bright, and I would have to go light-handed with that. But I like this formula. I mean, Blend Bunny has some of the best formulas there are. I love her eyeshadow palettes. Like, she has the best mattes and so far the best shimmers I've ever used. So yeah, I like the blush palette formula as well. And I'm happy that I finally got to use this, because I bought it and then it just kind of sat in my drawer for a while. So that's one reason I'm really loving these videos, because it's allowing me to actually use more of my products I have. Okay, so moving on, then I set my face, and the powder that was chosen this time was from Makeup Revolution, and this is their, what is it? It doesn't have the name on it. It's like IRL something or other. It'll be in the description box. So it's a dual. So on the bottom you have your loose powder, and then on the top you have your pressed powder. I think that's very nice. I did see this, I think She Glam did it as well, but I do not support She Glam. So I bought this when I did my full face of Makeup Revolution, which is coming, guys. I lost my SD card when I had filmed a bunch of full face of brands and some other videos. Alright, sorry about that, guys. The memory card filled up and cut me off. I was talking about the fact that I set my face with powder, and the one that was chosen this month is from Revolution Beauty or Makeup Revolution. And this is a dual-ended product. So you have your loose powder on the bottom, and then you have a mirror up here, and you have your pressed powder here. I like this. I think it's very nice. I have seen, I think it was She Glam do this, but I do not support She Glam. And I did buy this for my full face of Makeup Revolution. I can't remember my first impressions with it. I think I liked it. That video is coming. I apologize that it hasn't already went up. Unfortunately, I had filmed a bunch of videos, and then the memory card just disappeared for months and I couldn't find it. So I've slowly been kind of pushing those videos in between some of my newer videos so that you guys can still see the content that I filmed. So there's a full face of Makeup Revolution and a full face of Catrice. I did already put up the full face of Physicians Formula. I think the other video was me trying the POV Beauty Skincare when it came out, which should already be up as well. So it's coming. I'm still working on editing that one because it's kind of long. But I do really like this month. I think it is a nice product. It doesn't set super heavy. It is very finely milled. Same with the pressed part as well. It's not super heavy or anything. I use it with a puff. I use it with a brush. Don't have any issues with it. The only thing I will say, and is the same problem I had with the ColourPop powder, is that a lot of product does tend to find itself down in here. And where it is so finely milled, I gotta be careful when I open it, otherwise powder goes everywhere. So that's the only thing I will say, but I have been enjoying this powder and I will continue to use it in my collection. Okay, so moving on, after that I set down my face with setting spray, and I've told you guys before, I'm someone who likes to layer. Like my I usually like to layer my primers, my powders, and my setting sprays. It doesn't add to my routine, yeah. But when I do these full face ofs, I usually don't add anything extra in unless I need to make something kind of work. Like today I had to add in a lip liner that wasn't in the monthly to do the black lip, right? But typically I will use a glowy primer, or typically I'll use a mattifying primer. Blah, blah, blah. Typically I will use a mattifying setting spray so that it locks down my makeup and my oil doesn't seep through and everything throughout the day. But then I like a glowy finish, so then I'll usually finish off with a glowy setting spray. Now, I did not do that today because I'm doing the monthly makeup. So the setting spray that was chosen is one of my favorites for lasting all day, and it's the Urban Decay All Nighter. I am pretty much, I'd say, down to here on this. That's how much I like this product. That being said, this was the product that was a collab, or just the brand Scandinavia was the one that was making the formula for this. Since then, Urban Decay and Scandinavia have parted ways, and Urban Decay has their all-nighter, but from what I'm hearing, it's not the same. So I'm not happy about that, but I've heard that if you want the same formula, then you can buy from Scandinavia, which I think is available on Amazon, which I will do when I run out of this to see how I feel about it, because I love this setting spray. When I want to make sure that I am not going to have to touch up my makeup all day and I know I'm going to be out, I reach for this setting spray because it works. Now I have some other setting sprays that do too, like the L'Oreal Infallible, the One Size. Now those are more aerosol and they do have a bit of a smell that can be overwhelming, where this one doesn't really have a smell to me. But yeah, I like this formula. I'll be sad whenever I am out of this, and I am hoping that buying the Scandinavia one will be the same. Alright, but so the things that are left are all the lip products. So I'm missing one of the lip liners, which is typical. Let me see which one it was. Oh, it was the Mikayla one. It was a very, very light nude shade that she did. It was the Glamlite Mikayla Paht 2 collection. It was the lighter of the two. Now that lip liner, as you can see in one of the short lip combos that I did, that one is more of a just kind of define my lips for me. It doesn't give me any color because it's pretty much lighter than my lips. So I'll do that, just kind of give some definition to my lips, but then if I want color, I have to go in with another lip liner. So I don't use it very much because of that, but it is a nice formula. Now, the other lip liner that was chosen is from ColourPop, and this is one of their lippy pencils in the shade Shot Clock. I like this color. It's kind of like a mauve-y rose kind of shade. It pairs really nicely with the liquid lip that was chosen, which is from NYX, the Shine Loud Fierce Flirt, because it's a purple shade. These pair really nice together, as you can see in that lip combo, because I tried to use the Mikayla lip liner first, and then I put this on, and then just, you know, there was no liner, color liner around it, so then I went in with this to kind of give it a better look, as you can see in the lip combo video. But I like this paired together. Now, I like ColourPop's lippy pencils. They are nice. They're nice and creamy. They don't last all day, I will say that. And one of my biggest pet peeves, and they seem to have fixed this with the newer ones, is that they like to slide out. That's annoying. And I just recently went through and did a declutter video, which should be going up soon, and all I can say is that I plan on replacing some things for that reason. Now, hopefully I'm not screwing myself over and they end up being just as bad. But yeah, nice formula, just wish the packaging was better. Love the NYX duos. Every time I put one in, I am just amazed at how well they last. Now, the only thing I will say that I've noticed so far is the darker shades are harder to work with. The lighter shades seem to be the best. So, there is that. Okay. So, the other lip products that were chosen. So, I had a ColourPop Lippie Stick in the shade Oh Behave. So it's this kind of like purplish, it's like a very dark brown, right? I'm discovering I'm just not a fan of the ColourPop Lippie Sticks, at least these older versions. I do love the ones in the Bratz collection. Those are super creamy and I like them. Now, they don't have longevity, I will say that. I absolutely hate the ColourPop Matte and Matte X versions of these. I did declutter pretty much all of those. Spoiler alert, but I mean that video is already up, so you can go watch it if you like. But I'm discovering, even though these are a little bit creamier, they're kind of inconsistent on when I'm applying them to my lips. Like this one wants to put like a whole bunch of pigment in one space, and then it was like sheer in another space. So yeah, I don't know. I'll try it out some more, but it's definitely on the chopping block. Okay, so then we have the liquid lipstick. I think, or was this the lip cream? I think this was more in the lipstick because it's a lip cream. But this is from, no, sorry, this is in my liquid lipsticks. This is from ColourPop, and this is from their Hocus Pocus 2 collection, I believe it was. Or no, it was the Witching Hour collection. So this is the shade Hello Boys, and I am wearing it today. It is kind of wore off in the middle here though, but that could be because I topped it with the lip oil that was chosen, which I'll show you here in a moment. But let's just kind of, I mean, you can see it's pigmented. Very creamy. I do feel like the moment I talk, which a few minutes ago I did notice I had some on my teeth. So that's the only thing, but it is very creamy. It is very nice, and I've had this a while, but it's still performing really well. I think this is their lip cream. Yeah, this is their Fresh Kiss lip cream, which I think the only ones I have left of those are the Hocus Pocus ones, because all my other ones, for some reason, I didn't... No, wait. Was that the French Kiss? There was a formula that I recently had to declutter. It might have been the French Kiss or the other one that has the same packaging that's more of a lip tint. All of those, for some reason, even though I hadn't used a lot of them, were full of black mold. I do not know what happened there, because they were all stored in a climate-controlled room. So I don't know what was up with that. But I ended up having to toss them all, and it was about 10 or 15 of them. So that was not fun. But this one is still looking very nice and still performing nicely. I do like it. Again, it's not going to have any longevity. I will have to reapply. But it is a very nice black. Now, that being said, I did pair it with this NYX Line Loud Lip Liner in Evil Genius. I don't like this. It's very patchy and very dry. I do not know why, because the other Line Loud pencils are really nice. So I don't know what happened to this one. As you can see in the lip combo that will go up, I'm having a hard time trying to use this one. I actually ended up having to go over with the NYX retractable version, which is called Black Lips, to kind of fix it. But I did top off my lip with this ColourPop Twilight Lip Oil. This is their Luxe Lip Oil in Team Jacob. So what are you guys? Are you guys Team Jacob or Team Edward? Back in the day, I was Team Jacob, because I mean, hello, he was hot. Yeah, I'll say it, he was hot. But now I watch the movies and stuff, and I'm like, both of those relationships are toxic and controlling. Yeah, no thanks. So, yeah. In hindsight, the things you see as you grow up and become an adult. But this is a very nice formula. I do like the tongue-in-cheek of the movies and stuff. Like, so I really like vampire inspired lore and shows. Like, I've seen Vampire Diaries, I've seen True Blood, I've seen Interview with a Vampire. I somehow did not get to see Queen of the Damned. I've seen, was it From Dusk Till Dawn? Like, I love vampire movies and books and things like that, and werewolves and witches and fae and all that. Like, that's like my favorite kind of genre. My only thing is like, I like the Twilight movies, I do, but the whole like glowing in the sun thing I just thought was ridiculous. I'm sorry, I did not like that aspect. I'm a fan of like the vampires being like, can't go in the sun because you burn up, you know? Alright, but anyways, moving on from my little tangent. This is a nice formula. I do think I'm going to end up moving my lip oils that have like these tints and stuff in them into maybe my lip tint drawer, because I feel like they're underutilized in my lip care drawer as a lip oil, because I usually don't reach for a tinted lip oil for lip prep. But I do like this, so I'm going to keep it. Same with the lip cream, I'm going to keep it. The last item was the Cherry Lip Scrub from ColourPop's Fourth Ray Beauty. Now, I've been telling you guys that I'm very picky about my lip scrubs, right? I like a dry lip scrub. I don't like anything that's like a gel or a moisturizer. I want a dry lip scrub. Now, this is a lip balm stick formula. I do like it because it's not overly emollient. But every time I use this, I end up with a huge dry patch on my bottom lip, and that's usually not a problem for me. So I think there's something in this formula that is very drying to my lips. So for that reason, I'm going to let this go at my next declutter, because yeah, I don't want to be drying my lips out more when I don't have a problem. That's kind of not the point. I'm trying to exfoliate my lip and moisturize my lip with like a lip balm or lip oil afterward, right? Not create more dry patches. So sadly, I did like this formula, so I don't know, maybe it's because it's old. It could be because this is pretty old. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, because I used the lime one, and I used that one up, and I did not have that issue. But it's been a while since I used that one, so maybe it is because this is old. Or maybe it's the cherry in it. I don't know. It's interesting that this did that, but the lime one didn't. I'm just realizing. So yeah, unfortunately this was a fail for me. Alright guys, so those are my thoughts on all of the products that were picked by the roulette wheel for March. Stay tuned if it's not already up. The roulette wheel picks for April will be coming soon. Again, if it's not already up before this video. I have already filmed it and I have already edited it, so it is ready to go up. But yeah, that's my thoughts. If you guys enjoy this type of content, you like beauty content, tutorials, you like lip combos, you like unboxings, reviews, all that good stuff, take a moment and like and subscribe down below. It really helps me out. I am still trying to reach 500 subscribers. Now, instead, I didn't reach it last year, so now I'm trying to reach it by June of this year. And when I do reach 500 subscribers, I do plan on doing a giveaway. So I need your guys to get there. I'm at 456 as of today. I did lose one the other day, so not ideal, but it happens. So yeah, take a moment and like and subscribe down below. It really helps me out, and I would appreciate it. Until next time, guys. Bye.